Let's go live right now to the Prime Minister. Justin Trudeau is speaking to reporters in PEI ahead of the federal cabinet retreat and talking about the update on wildfires.
Being there on the ground for people is unbelievably important. I also have to say that being there on the ground for people and seeing how Canadians are responding to this is inspiring. And I see it right across the country, from Nova Scotia, where I visited there, to Alberta, to Quebec, to BC and the Northwest Territories. Canadians step up for each other. And yes, our first responders, our Canadian Armed Forces are extraordinary. Our firefighters across the country are doing incredible things, and indeed welcoming people from around the world to help out. But Canadians as well, looking out for their neighbors, supporting strangers from their community, opening up, welcoming into their homes people from other provinces, from other regions. It has been the very best of Canada that we've seen through these difficult times, through this incredibly difficult summer. And I just want to say how inspiring it is to know that no matter how bad things get, Canadians are going to continue to be there for each other. And people have questions about whether they've lost their homes, about whether they need to evacuate, about how things are going, and that's where local news is so important. And the work that people are doing to share messages and keep people informed with safe, up-to-date information is unbelievably essential to keeping Canadians safe. That's why, and I'm going to make a comment on this, it is so inconceivable that a company like Facebook is choosing to put corporate profits ahead of ensuring that local news organizations can get up-to-date information to Canadians and reach them where Canadians spend a lot of their time, online, on social media, on Facebook. Facebook made billions of dollars in profits over the past years, including off of Canadians. And we recently passed legislation that says, Facebook, if you're going to be sharing news or work done by Canadian journalists or local news, you have to make sure they're compensated for it fairly. Well, instead of making sure that local journalists are fairly paid for keeping Canadians informed on things like wildfires, Facebook is blocking news from its sites. In a larger picture, that's bad for democracy, because democracy depends on people being able to trust high-quality journalism of all sorts of different perspectives and points of view. But right now, in an emergency situation, where up-to-date local information is more important than ever, Facebook's putting corporate profits ahead of people's safety, ahead of supporting quality local journalism. This is not the time for that. This is the time for Canadians to continue to pull together and be there for each other. It's time for us to expect more from corporations like Facebook that are making billions of dollars off of Canadians. Je soulignais à quel point c'est une frustration pour moi.
How frustrating it is for me while I see how Canadians are there for each other, how much generosity there is in taking in people who are fleeing for their lives, leaving their communities. And it's frustrating to see that Facebook is continuing to block access to news. And that includes news on wildfires, local news for the Canadians who need it. They're putting their profits, corporate profits, as a priority and ahead of safety and information for Canadians. They're refusing to ensure that journalists are paid adequately for the work that they do, informing people and sharing news with Canadians. They would rather leave people in danger than share and pay their fair share for local journalism. It's unbelievable. And that's why Canada and our allies across the world are standing strong. And we are saying that news is essential to our democracy, and corporations such as Facebook must pay their fair share.
With that, let me say how great it is to be back on Prince Edward Island, how great it was to be able to spend a little time with some kids and to meet some amazing parents and teachers who are so key to building the kind of community and the kind of future we need in this country.
We've been listening to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking to reporters in PEI ahead of the federal cabinet retreat, also talking about some of the federal government's response to the wildfires, and also taking straight aim at Facebook's parent company Meta for the ongoing media blackout that's happening with the two companies, and not being able to share Canadian news sources at a time when a lot of people really need to find out this information during these wildfires.